Hey guys, Crix Lee here for Red Carpet Report, and tonight we are at the Paley Center for the Eureka panel. So let's talk to the stars and the creator and see how much info we can pump out of them.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. A little blushing. Yeah. All right. Let's do the little aw shucks. Well, okay, you ready? So, Colin, the first thing I want to ask you is, you are very active on Twitter, and I emphasize with you are active on Twitter, which I didn't mean to do, but you are very active on Twitter. And when someone from a TV show as popular as Eureka is active, you get a lot of feedback from the fans. Mm-hmm. And so now that we're at the series finale, I mean, other than screaming for a movie, what has been the one thing that fans have demanded?
I guess the biggest thing that I've seen from Twitter is people wanting to say, wanting to get a chance to say how important the show was for them. I get a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, it's the only thing that my daughters and I watch together, or wow, I watch it with my dad, and it's the only thing we really do. And that's really nice. And I feel sort of sad that it's going off the air for that. You sort of feel like, oh, we should make more. We should, sorry, we should keep it going. So that's probably what I hear the most. We always try to skew it towards gratitude as opposed to sour grapes, which I guess you could go to, but there's no point in that. It's been a good home, and I'm pretty grateful that people were with us for the ride that we had.
Well, now speaking of movie, let me wipe my forehead.
I hear you.
It's very sweaty in here. Now, talking about a movie, say that there was a movie, and we were to revisit Eureka 1 year later, and it had like kind of this Animal House pickup where we pick up where we left off. Yeah. What would the sheriff be doing 1 year later?
That's a really good question. The reveal at the beginning of the movie would be really important. Yeah. Sort of what would he be doing? Would he be sitting in Cafe Diem? Would he be... I don't know. I think it would be more of the same. I mean, you'd need that right out of the gate and then sort of show, I think, through a series of reveals how things have changed, over the course of the year. It'd be fun to do. I'd love to do a movie. I know the cast would all love to come back. I know the writers would love to do it. It was such a fun place to create all the way through. I mean, I wasn't a part of the writer's room, but the stories that I hear is they just had a fantastic time. It's sort of the hardest job you'll ever love sort of scenario. But what would Jack be doing a year from now? I think sort of being happy for the first time in a long time, really belonging to the town, I think would be the biggest thing.
Well, now, when we look at episodes, and this is a two-part question, so I'm going to make it a little, I know.
I'm going to remember both parts.
I know, it's super hard. So what was your favorite episode? And then thinking of all the episodes from all the seasons, who was your favorite guest star that came, if they were there for just one episode or they were there for a character arc? Who was the one that you were just like, no way, I love that person? Yeah.
All right, well, I think my favorite episode, probably three of them, I would say Up in the Air, because our script supervisor, Alexandra, got to direct it and did amazingly, and it was a really comedic episode, and I like those. Same thing with Jack of All Trades, which Jaime directed, our executive producer, his first. And when someone gets their first time to direct, it's sort of a really special episode for us because it's a big life moment when you get to direct an episode of TV. It's a rare thing to be able to do. And of course, some of the ones that I directed, and maybe Smarter Carter, because I get to be smart for an episode, and that was fun. So those are probably my favorite eps. And then favorite guest stars, I would say, I don't consider Felicia and Wil to be guest stars because they were with us for 2 seasons. I mean, they're family. So I would say Wallace Shawn, when he came through.
Everybody I've asked has said Wally. They called him Wally.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wallace Shawn, and he's so, for this sort of iconic place he has in culture, he's so like, oh, nice to meet you, I'm Wally. I'm the sweetest guy and so smart. And I'd say Dave Foley as well.
You know what my favorite Wallace Shawn moment is outside of The Princess Bride is The Cosby Show.
The Cosby? What did he do in The Cosby?
He was the next door neighbor who was the writer. Remember the little chubby kid, Peter? That was his kid.
Never saw it.
Yeah, he was the next door neighbor, and he was like midlife crisis, so he'd get a toupee one day and like a race, like a sports car the next episode. But yeah, you should check those out. They're really super funny.
That's really, really great. He's fantastic. So that's it. That's what I'd say.
And now my last question for you, and it's kind of off the course of Eureka just a little bit, but I have to say that the Giggle Loop episode of Coupling is the British and the U.S. versions are my favorite. So if you could take one episode of Eureka and kind of do it coupling style, which one would it be?
I would love to do, I don't know the episode of Coupling that it was. It wasn't one that we shot, but it would be the one where the screen splits. I mean, Stephen Moffat's one of my favorite writers, full stop. So I watched all of the British coupling, and it's a phenomenal series. If you haven't seen it, please watch it, just for yourself. It's a life half lived. So there's this episode where the screen splits right at the beginning as they break up, and then you follow them sort of in real time on both sides of the screen for the entire episode. I would love to do an episode of Eureka where we do that, where sort of you see the problem developing at the same time as the guy's trying to solve it. I think that would be an amazing coup of writing and filmmaking to be able to do that.
And now, I lied. I have one last question.
What?
I know. I'm such a little piggy. Now, we have a thing in the nerd world called a bag of holding or a bag with hammer space. Are you familiar with these terms?
Sure, yes.
Now, if you could take anything from the set, the bag of holding is just basically a bottomless bag where you can just throw all your weapons in there.
Right, like my basement.
Like a cartoon, yeah, where it's like, hey, look, a giant car. So if you could take any prop or any set piece from Eureka because you have this bag, what would you take?
No doubt. Sheriff set. I'd take the whole set. The whole sheriff station, that like 1940s thing with the dark wood and then the dark floors and like the desk and the like right out of something from like a hard-boiled detective novel, that's what I take. I take the whole set and I keep it in a bag.
And then you play it like LA Noire style in the back and you'd like tip your hat to your nose, like, what do you want? Dangle.
We talked about giving him a hat like in the beginning because they wanted, Jaime and Andy wanted some sort of really iconographic thing. And my face is like Woody from Toy Story. So I was like, if you throw a hat on me, like I couldn't have any less gravity in a dangerous situation. Like it would be, could you picture me with a Mountie hat, like, or something like ridiculous? So that got kiboshed.
It's like Clay Pidge is like, Barney, could you not step in the evidence?
Well, we did it with my hair. We shaved it really short. So it sort of stayed the same regardless. So that was as hat as we could get.
Well, I can't wait to see what you have coming next. And as we know, the show is sadly coming to an end, but I'm just really grateful that I finally got to meet you after all this time. I'm so excited. Yay!